And now I am so excited to be joined by the Teens of the Year. As you can see, these are extraordinary and hardworking young women, and we're going to get to know them a little bit better now. Ladies, thanks for joining us. I'd like to ask you first a little bit about sort of the challenges that you faced through high school that got you to this point. Augusta, we're going to start with you.
I started when I was very young in elementary school, and I figured out that I did want to be a lawyer because it kind of runs in my family. My grandfather is a lawyer, and my uncle has studied law. And so I decided, okay, I want to do something meaningful with my life. I grew up seeing a lot of injustice in the Black community and other communities, and I realized that minorities tend to be in jail more than white people. And I realized that that's a big problem because sometimes they're in there for, small charges like misdemeanors. And I want to study criminal defense in order to, I guess, help those who are in jail for venial crimes get out of jail so that they can start their lives, especially when they're being framed for something that they didn't do. And then I got into mechanical engineering, which is completely two polar opposite sides. I got into that during, my high school years when I was taking calculus, and it was so hard. And I went to my teacher and I was so sad. I was crying and I was like, I don't understand this. How can you help me? And he said, you know what, don't quit STEM. There's not a lot of Black people and a lot of females inside STEM. So we should, you should continue that journey. I know it may be hard now, but you'll understand it later. And that's where I started, to look at mechanical engineering. And I decided that, further on in my life that I want to do both. I want to be an attorney, and I also want to be studying mechanical engineering and become a petroleum engineer in order to help others and use my education and my platform to do what I can for those around me. And I think, it stands as a motivation to girls younger than me to, I guess, look up to the fact that you can do a major, even though it will be a hard job, and you can be more than yourself and do what you can to help others around you instead of being, self-concerned. So I think that's my goal in life.
Those are awesome goals. And I love how you're taking two totally different areas and saying they can coexist because I'm going to make them coexist. Anything is possible. So I think that in and of itself is super inspiring. What about you, Jewel? What has been your journey and what were some of the challenges you faced that have helped put you on this path today?
I've always been very interested in math and science, which is why I want to go into engineering. But when I was younger in middle school, there was nothing really to push me forward to go into that because the fear of failure and the threat of stereotypes always just kind of hindered me from pursuing engineering. And actually, one of my friends in high school told me to check out engineering, specifically aerospace engineering. And since I've always really liked math and science, and I looked into it and I was like, oh wow, that's actually really cool. And so I became very involved in my school with STEM extracurriculars, and I've also do a lot with sports and everything. Being very involved in the school, I've had some challenges with a school-life balance, but over time I've realized that a life out of balance isn't good for me or my family, and I've taken the time to really learn better time and project management. And I've learned a lot of project management with engineering projects as well, and with planning and everything. And I've committed myself to my overall wellness. I try to eat right, exercise, and maintain just healthy boundaries for myself. And overall, I think I've learned to cultivate a positive and growth mindset, which especially going into the engineering field as a woman, I think is a growth mindset is imperative to have because again, there's lots of stereotypes in that field with only guys being engineers, which is not true at all. And so having this growth mindset really helps me when I do encounter challenges, and just maintaining positivity keeps me motivated always. And it has always pushed me to do more and to learn more. And I try to really share this positivity with others when I can.
That's amazing, Jewel. And you're definitely ahead of the curve. That kind of work-life balance, time management, and making sure you're taking care of yourself first and foremost. I can tell you that lots of women my age and older are still trying to figure that out and talking about it regularly. So I think if you can work on those skills now, you'll lead to a much more fulfilling life for you long-term. So thanks for sharing that. What about you, Sarah E? Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got here and why this scholarship is so meaningful to you.
So Jewel pretty much said it all because I was going to talk about how it's hard to kind of balance work and school and extracurriculars and family demands, especially in this time. And I try to involve myself as much as I can with social events at school and stuff while trying to maintain my grades. So that's kind of been a challenge. But overall, it's just time management is the most important thing to me. My dad is a professor, so that's a big thing he tries to teach his students. So with that, he's been helping me, and yeah.
It's a great message because I work with a business coach and she always says we all have the same 168 hours in a week. So it's why do some people accomplish so much? And I do think a lot of it comes down to priorities and time management. And I know that you guys are involved in a lot of extracurriculars, especially community activities. So Mia, tell me a little bit about how you've incorporated all of the things that you've done into your life to lead you to this point, and how has that helped define where you're headed?
Awesome. So I always tell people that I am a people person. That's always who I've been. I love talking with people, learning about new people, and just how people are able to influence others. I've always been interested in that, but I never knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I always kind of settled for less with that thought. I always just thought I can do the bare minimum with that. And I kind of realized during my senior year, with all of the downtime we've had due to COVID, that I can do absolutely whatever I want to do if I put my mind to it. I made the broad decision to go into public relations. It's something I had never heard of before, but once I started researching, I fell in love with it. And it was the first decision I really ever made on my own without anybody else's help. And that was really great for me. Though I've been through plenty of challenges throughout high school, I lost my father when I was in the 8th grade, and that was at the end of my 8th grade year. So it was super hard going in as a freshman, trying to make new friends while I was still kind of dealing with the grief on the side. But just finding this passion of wanting to work with people and talk with people has really helped me overcome that challenge. And then with this scholarship, the scholarship is helping me more than anyone could ever imagine. College has always been something questionable ever since my father's passing. There's been financial barriers since then. And this really helped me hop over that barrier and give me the hope that I am able to go to college, that I am able to achieve those career goals.
Thank you so much, Mia. And I'm sorry for your loss, but it is so inspiring to see what you're taking from that. And I think all challenges can be opportunities when we see them that way. And you all have mentioned something important. I want to turn to you, Sarah Brown, because you've all talked about finding something that interests you, but then you did some research. You asked about it. You were inspired by someone. You looked into it. You didn't just sort of let it accidentally happen or not happen to you. So Sarah, tell us about what was your aha moment? What's the thing that stood out to you in your high school years that has helped you propel forward into the path that you're about to embark on?
Sure. So in elementary school, I was having some health issues, and I eventually had to temporarily stop school in 5th grade and go to more of a remote cyber learning with a team of speech therapists and vision therapists. In the years following, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease and encephalitis, which really took out most of my memory, forgetting work, school. So that was a big challenge I had to overcome. And being in and out of hospitals and doctor's office, trying to figure out what would work. That's really how I found nursing. Just being around all the nurses and therapists, speech therapists that I had to go to regain my memory, I really developed a love for that career and helping people through their struggles. So I started back in school in high school. So that was a big stepping stone after missing all of middle school. So high school was kind of the time where I was able to branch out again and join clubs and start school again. I enrolled in Bethlehem area vocational technical schools health careers program. So that was a great opportunity to be in the classroom working on simulation mannequins, doing blood pressure, and all of those skills that really helped me prepare for the future.
I love that you took such a challenging childhood experience and you've channeled it into a way that's not only going to be a career, but think of how many lives you'll be touching when you give back. So you guys are so inspiring. I mean, I hope our audience feels the same way. I just feel it coming through. What an amazing group. I want to ask you about your greatest achievement so far and how you think that's helped shape where you're headed. So this time we'll start over with you, Jewel.
I think my greatest achievement so far is definitely becoming an Engineer Girl Ambassador. And this year I was selected as one of 23 girls in the nation to be part of the Engineer Girl Ambassador program, which is with the National Academy of Engineering. And the reason why I decided to actually go for this ambassadorship was because after being one of only 4 girls in the first engineering class at Freedom, I recognized the need to diversify the STEM field and bring in more girls into these engineering classes. And so as a result, with this ambassadorship, I created an engineering club for the girls at Rockville Middle School and East Hills Middle School. I called the club Engineering Girl Power Society. And so like we do like fun challenges and like mini projects alongside mentorship with I have 5 other high school students who are there to like give them help with throughout the projects and just sort of be there as like kind of like a big sister to them. Like I'm trying to create like a sort of like a big sister, little sister program. And each month we also have discussions with professional female engineers, and they're just there to serve as like role models and just gives the girls someone to look up to. And so I'm planning on continuing this club even after I graduate. Like we're already making plans for this to continue into the next years. And this is really important to me because, again, like as I said before, I did not start thinking about pursuing engineering until my sophomore year when one of my friends motivated me. Because like again, like there was nothing in middle school that could really give me that little push to pursue engineering. So I'm most proud of the fact that today I can provide the support to younger girls that I did not have myself at their age, and while also inspiring them to consider engineering as a possible career choice or even just as a new interest.
I love it. And I can guarantee you there are women watching tonight that would be wonderful resources for you. So I'm going to make a note out there to our audience. We have a lot of beautiful, wonderful female engineers in the Lehigh Valley who I guarantee would be happy to work with you, Jules. So make a note of that, ladies. All right, Sarah E., what about you?
So I work at a learning center, and I just started working there about a year or 2 ago. And a lot of the kids that I work with, they have learning disabilities or they have issues with their confidence and they struggle to work in class. So they come there so they can have some extra help. And a lot of them tell me how they like look up to me, and it's really inspiring being able to help them utilize their full potential when they're trying to work, and seeing them like kids that have all these struggles and stuff, they're still like top of their class. They're getting hundreds on all their assignments and their homework and stuff. So it's inspiring to me, and also they say that I help them, so that's nice.
I love that. And I think it's amazing the power of a mentor, a connection, and someone just taking the time, right? Someone's taken the time in your life, and maybe it was someone unexpected, and you're giving back by doing that, Sarah. So that's pretty special. What about Sarah Brown?
I would say a volunteer position I took at Good Shepherd Rehabilitation Center, similar to what Sarah said about helping young children overcome their challenges. I worked with an occupational therapist and a speech therapist, and I really got to see the strategies and modalities they use to help these kids. And it was a really great learning experience being there as a volunteer.
Not only volunteering, but you're learning the skills that'll come in handy in your profession as well. And I think feeling out what you like, what you don't like, what you connect with. So that's pretty cool. What about you, Mia? What is one of your greatest accomplishments or something that really would resonate with our audience?
So my freshman year, it was about October at that time. I decided, it was honestly a late night thought. I hopped onto change.org. If you don't know what that is, it is a petition website. I hopped on there and I just let my brain dump out whatever it was thinking. Later that day or next morning, I came out with a petition towards local state representatives to change the motorcycle helmet laws, requiring them to be worn at all ages after my father's accident. I didn't really think it was going to get much attention until after a week, it had 1,000 signatures, and then it closed the 2-week petition period with over 2,000 signatures. And I was able to begin working with Steve Samuelson, a local state representative. Together, we visited the state capitol. We've talked with other representatives about this project, trying to change this law to enhance the public safety. Though this was 4 years ago, it is still a work in progress, and I'm super excited to see what I can do with it.
What a great way to make sure that your voice and the voice of so many others are being heard. And you're learning a lot about public policy in the process and a lot about PR, Mia. So I bet that'll come in handy. What about you, Augusta? What is an achievement that you'd like to share with us and something meaningful in your life that maybe you didn't think you could accomplish, but you have?
This achievement happened recently. During, I believe around October, November of 2020, the beginning of my senior year, I was approached with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Student of the Year section, and basically we work to raise money for to fund the research that will help, end blood cancers like leukemia and lymphoma and several other cancers. And the organization has donated to about 50 plus of the 60 research organizations. So it's been very helpful. And during this time, there's a campaign period. It started in January and it just ended about 2 weeks ago. And during that time, we just, raised a lot of money. We had to contact all these big corporations and ask them, hey, are you willing to donate? Would you like to help us? And we continue to do that. And I feel as though my time with that organization was just kind of like a big leadership role. I was able to learn more and realize about, time management and how to help others, and also how to, sneak my way into, getting the funds needed to raise money, because it's a lot of smooth talking, if you will. And it's a lot of, kind of like broadcasting. You have to do a lot of, sharing this out there so that people know, so that people can help you raise money for this organization. And so while I did it, I think it was a very important and important aspect in my life. And I think I learned a lot from the organization. And I just generally feel as though, this was a good period of my life and it was worthwhile, to be honest.
We're so proud of all of you, and you're so deserving of this scholarship and this award. So I'd like to close out by asking each of one of you to briefly answer what the scholarship means to you and what your final parting advice is to young women out there who might be listening, and maybe they find themselves in a challenging spot starting high school and not sure where to go. So let us know, what does it mean to you? And we'll start over with you, Sarah E.
Okay, so getting this scholarship, like hearing everyone else's stories and stuff, I'm really honored to be able to be in such like an amazing group. And I don't think that I'm more deserving of this award than like any of my other peers, but I am really glad that all of my hard work through high school has paid off. And the most important thing that I would say is, especially in this time, being able to differentiate between perception and reality is really important, and like basically what seems difficult versus what's actually difficult. So because right now with online school especially, it's easy to just look at something and be like, no, that's too hard, I can't do it. But being able to challenge yourself is what motivates you to be successful, and it's basically like the most essential thing to become successful in the future.
What about you, Jewel?
I'm both so honored and humbled to get recognition, like by getting this scholarship for my contributions to the community and just like my hard work in general, along with these other amazing young women. And I guess for the advice I would give to younger girls would definitely be to not be afraid to try new things, and don't let the fear of failure stop you from pursuing something that you may end up actually being passionate about. And it's always better to try and fail than to never try at all. And like if you do fail at something, like you sort of said as well, it becomes a life lesson that you can apply to future situations. And going into the engineering field, I really need to understand like the importance of making mistakes. And like instead of getting discouraged, mistakes should be used as something to learn from and used as a chance to grow.
What about you, Augusta? What does this scholarship mean to you? And what's your advice for young women out there?
This scholarship means a lot to me. Like Mia said, it's going to help me through college, and it'll help make my life a little bit easier when going through college. Hopefully this scholarship, will help cover a lot of costs. And I feel as though, a little bit goes a long way. And I really appreciate the organization for giving me this money, because there's thousands and millions of people who are just like me doing the same thing. And I'm getting this opportunity, and I'm thankful for that fact.
What about you, Sarah? Tell us a little bit about what this scholarship means to you and some advice that you have.
Sure. Yeah, I'm really honored to receive the scholarship and be recognized for some of my achievements in high school. I would say advice for young girls is just find what you love and stick with it. Don't let other people's negative opinions influence what you want to accomplish in life, and find a support system and a group of people that are in the same mindset and will motivate you every day to continue on doing what you want to do in life.
It really matters who you surround yourself with, and you're all surrounded by virtually a group of amazing women in our community. So we hope you can feel that love. Mia, I'm going to end with you. If you could tell us what the scholarship means and some final advice.
First and foremost, I am so honored to be receiving this scholarship alongside all of these amazing, successful young women. Like I said, this scholarship is really just a extra push of motivation for me. It is a foundation of hope. It's really going to help me propel into my future. It really is just pushing away all those barriers that told me I couldn't do it. This is just really motivating me to go further into my future. I'm so thankful for it. Some advice I have, though it sounds very cliche, never give up. I promise that is the truest, best advice you will ever receive. It's the only way you will achieve your dreams.
Thank you, Mia. And I think you said it beautifully. You are all providing a foundation of hope for us, for our community, for the future. When we meet and get to interact with young women such as yourselves, believe me, we all take a deep breath and say, oh, thank goodness, the next generation is just going to keep rocking it and do it better and better than the next. And I can't wait to see what you young women accomplish. We're going to have to do a check-in in a few years and see where you're headed. Please know that this community loves and supports you. These are lots of strong, successful women who can offer you all kinds of guidance, advice, internships. So don't hesitate to reach out to the Y. We'll help get you connected. Thanks for joining us, ladies.
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
To see more of The Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.